Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids for free anymore? I, 29F, have been babysitting my sister Lily's, 35F, kids, Ben, 8M, and Ella, 5F, for years. Lily is a single mom, and I love my niece and nephew dearly. I've always been happy to help out, especially since Lily has a demanding job and often needs someone to watch the kids in the evenings or on weekends. However, recently, it started to feel like I'm being taken for granted. What started as the occasional evening has turned into me watching the kids 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes for entire weekends. Lily doesn't even ask anymore, she just tells me, "You're free Friday night, right?" Or, "I'm dropping the kids off in an hour." I work full-time, and I have my own life and responsibilities. Babysitting this often has started to take a toll on me, both mentally and socially. I've had to cancel plans with friends multiple times because Lily needed me. She never offers to pay me, even for long stretches, and while I don't expect to profit from helping family, it would be nice to feel appreciated. Last week, Lily asked me to watch the kids for an entire weekend because she wanted to go on a trip with her friends. I told her I couldn't, as I already had plans. She got upset and said I was being selfish, claiming I don't understand how hard it is to be a single mom. At that point, I calmly told her that I love her and the kids, but I can't keep babysitting for free whenever she wants. I suggested she look into hiring a sitter or finding a daycare service for the times I'm unavailable. She flipped out, calling me ungrateful, and saying family should help each other without expecting anything in return. Now, some of our relatives are weighing in. A few agree with me, but others think I'm being unreasonable and that I should just suck it up, since I don't have kids of my own. I feel bad because I know Lily is struggling, but I also feel like I'm being used. Am I the asshole? How exactly are you ungrateful for not canceling your plan to take care of her kids? If other members think that you should be at her beck and call, why aren't they chomping at the bit to put their life on hold to watch her kids? It's not your fault she's a single mom. Yes, she deserves to have fun, but you deserve to have a life as well. Not the asshole she needs to start paying you, just because you're family, doesn't mean she can take advantage of you. What exactly are you ungrateful for? Dear family, I'm sure Lily appreciates you volunteering your babysitting services for when I am busy. Lily, if you don't want the responsibilities of motherhood, perhaps you should rethink your decisions. Not the asshole. You feel like you're being used because you are being used. Lily is a parent, and although she wants time to herself, her kids come first. She's taken advantage of you, and it is fair to set some boundaries in place for yourself. You could always tally up the amount of hours you've spent in a year, and how much time, money it would cost if she had to pay someone for the services she expects you to perform for free. She is treating you like her co-parent, and that isn't fair to you. Sounds like Lily doesn't know what it's like to be a single mom, and is about to FAFO. She's headed on easy street just dumping her kids on you on a whim. She needs to eat some humble pie and parent her own damn kids full-time. She is taking advantage of you. Those other family members who tell you to keep babysitting, it's great that they are family and are volunteering now since family helps out, right? Stand your ground. It isn't fair that she's getting to have a life but you're expected to give up yours to babysit whenever she wants. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister wear my favorite dress on her date? I, 19F, have this dress that I love so much. I had been saving money for months to buy this deep green satin slip dress. There's nothing fancy about it, but it's important to me because I wore it to a school formal and finally felt good about myself. I call it my magic dress because it makes me feel good every time I wear it. My older sister, 24F, just started going out with someone new. She found the dress while she was over at my house a few nights ago, going through my closet. She asked right away if she could use it for her date. I wasn't sure because I trust her, but she's not very good with clothes. When I told her about the times she sent things back with spots or small tears, she just shrugged and said, "Clothes are meant to be worn, not babied." I told her no, telling her how much the dress meant to me and why I didn't want to give it to her. She got very angry and told me I was being a child and selfish. She said it shouldn't matter if she rented it because I wasn't going to wear it this week. She stormed off and later texted me to say that I made her feel like I didn't trust her and that I cared more about a piece of fabric than her feelings. Even my mom called and told me to say sorry to keep the peace. At the same time, I feel bad because I see her point of view. She just wanted to enjoy her date. I mean, it's not just a piece of fabric to me. Am I a jerk for standing my ground? Not the asshole. Seriously, has anyone ever come across someone say, to keep the peace, and it actually be aimed at the person who is causing the problem? Why the hell should Op lend her the clothes to keep the peace? Why can't the sister just not borrow the clothes to keep the peace? Not the asshole. You don't trust her because she has already messed clothes up before. She should be apologizing to you for messing them up before. She should understand that it's a special dress, and it's only yours to wear. Do not listen to your mom, you have nothing to apologize for. Tell your sister to stop the temper tantrum and tell your mother you will not apologize when no is a complete sentence. As someone who is an older sister, I cannot fathom wanting to borrow clothing. Clothing is to be taken care of, especially expensive pieces. It's too bad she sees them as stuff that could be torn and thrown away. No, it's your dress. She can get a favorite. I never loan clothes anymore, they never come back the same. You do not have to allow anyone to borrow anything, ever. You don't need to tell them a reason why either. If you borrow something from a friend, you treat it with care and quality to make sure it goes back in good condition. She seems to not want to hold that same value? Nope, you are not a jerk. She is for dismissing that she's damaged your clothes before. She can buy her own damn dress. Am I the asshole for snapping at my friend about her concerns for our working cats? I, 21 female, live with my grandparents. They own a lot of land and a lot of animals. My grandparents also have multiple working cats. These cats have many important roles on the farm and we take excellent care of them. They're vaccinated, chipped, well-fed, have shelter, and get medical attention when needed, but they are not house pets. They're not used to being overly pampered. We also welcomed a new addition to the family, Lucy, a scrappy, older feral cat. She's one of the only cats we've gotten as an older kitty, and while she's still not super into human contact, she's made friends with some other cats and is thriving. Recently, my friend Jane, 22F, came to visit. She's a huge animal lover. The moment she arrived, she was super excited to see all the animals on the farm. This is her first time visiting since I moved. She loved all the animals, but when we got to the barn cats, things got a little weird. She immediately tried to approach them, calling them over like she would with a house cat. Most of our barn cats just ignored her, they're busy doing their own thing. But Lucy, the feral cat, was nearby. Jane spotted her and got really excited, saying how cute Lucy was and how she must need extra love because she looks rough. I told Jane that Lucy's a feral cat who's adjusted well to life on the farm but isn't comfortable with people getting too close. I explained that Lucy's thriving in her own way. Jane didn't seem convinced and said something like, "Isn't it sad that she's not loved on? She looks like she needs it." I explained again that love for a working cat doesn't mean constant physical affection. The cats are happy and safe, which is what matters most. Jane still seemed uncomfortable and kept bringing it up throughout her visit, saying we try harder to socialize Lucy. At one point, Jane got frustrated and said, "I just don't get why you wouldn't want her to feel like a pet. It's like you're giving up on her." That really upset me and I said that we've done a lot to help Lucy feel safe and cared for. Jane responded, "It just seems cruel that you wouldn't let the cats into the house at night, either." I would never let my cats stay out at night. I explained that that's when the cats do the most work at night and they have heated pads and hay to sleep on, as well as food and water. She didn't seem convinced. I told her bluntly that she doesn't understand what it takes to care for working animals, and her insistence on treating them like house pets was disrespectful. Jane got quiet after that and didn't say much for the rest of the visit. Later she texted me saying she felt upset. She said she was just trying to help and thought I was being defensive. I understand that animal welfare is super important to a lot of people and I can understand why Jane would have concerns initially, but she seems dead set on undermining my experience with working cats. Am I the asshole for snapping at her? Not the asshole, as long as you care for them and feed them, so they're not relying on mice and birds as their sole food source. I think you're good. It sounds like you take care of them very well. I love cats and only know them as pets, so I find it hard to keep them outside too, but respect that's the way it works on a farm. Not the asshole. She doesn't know what she's talking about and is ignorant of how a farm works. Love and affection are shown in many ways, not just physical. If you have lots of animals on a farm, love is shown by making sure all animals are fed and healthy. And they know they are safe with you. That's why they stay. If they didn't feel safe or loved, they would leave. But they don't. Your friend just sounds uneducated and sounds like she only sees her paw. She's an idiot, who just can't get past the cute kitty is outside. My friend has a couple barn cats and me being the idiot city kid tried to pick one up to pet it and the cat was having none of it. My friend explained the barn cats don't like to be picked up and that was that. I am an animal rescuer and advocate. And the type who calls my cats and dog my kids. There are some cats who do not have the personality to be a house cat, and being a working barn cat is the perfect choice. They are not strays. They are cared for and have food and safety. This is especially good for former ferals, as most prefer groups of cats. I'm sorry she doesn't understand, but you have done nothing wrong. I would only quibble about the hay. Straw is better, as hay retains moisture. Otherwise, well done keeping them healthy and happy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You're doing better by your kata than 90% of the people in my rural county. Nah, she wasn't really being an asshole and neither were you. She has no experience with this and can't wrap her head around it. You explained it well, but there was nothing disrespectful about the way she was treating them, and you do sound a little defensive. Would I be the asshole if I don't include my wife on a trip I planned for my friend? I, 30 male, have been friends with a 29 female since we were 15/16 of a year old. When we were still teenagers, I picked up smoking from her friends. She didn't do it much and she said she knew the risks and wanted to stop. As encouragement to get her to quit, I made a deal with her. We both share a love of cars and motorsports, so the deal was that if she never picked up a cigarette again, I would fly us out to and get grandstand tickets for her favorite F1 race. Obviously once we were older and not broke teenagers. Admittedly, 16-year-old me did not take all the costs into consideration, but I still wanted to uphold my end of the deal. A and I have always had a sibling-like relationship and my wife knows that. Nothing has ever happened between us, and it even helped to set me up with my now wife, 30 female, and was a groomswoman at the wedding. This year the time finally came when I had the money, time and circumstances for this trip. My wife has always known about this deal I have with us since we met 9 years ago. She's never had a problem with it and even found it wholesome, in her words. Her and I have a good relationship. They aren't best friends or anything, but they get along quite well. Anyway, in September I booked the tickets to the race as well as flights, and the trip is going to be around his birthday next year. I had always thought that it was known that the trip was going to be just me and I, as per the deal we made ages ago, and when I was booking the tickets in September I mentioned this and my wife had zero problems with it. Then a couple days ago my wife mentions how she's so excited for the trip, and I gently let her know that I have only booked 2 tickets for the race and flights. She was upset about this and I was really confused because I thought I had made it clear that this trip was for A and it would just be us two. She asked me if I could add another ticket to the race, but it's all sold out so L can't really. And then she asked if I could add another plane ticket anyway, and I'm not inclined to do that and I know this sounds childish, but this was a me and a thing since we made the deal. My wife has seemed really upset about this and is barely talking to me, and the one time we have seen us since then she was very cold towards her. I don't know if she doesn't trust me or if it's because of some insecurity. Would I be the asshole if I don't include my wife? Edit. Yes, I had a big fat sit-down conversation with my wife about this before I booked anything, and I broke down my plans and all the costs, covered by money I had saved on my own, and my wife was completely fine with everything, until now. Edit 2. Talked to my wife and currently booking her onto our flight and my hotel room. I guess I can see where people are coming from with the "you are the asshole" judgment, but I still think she should have said she wanted to come sooner, as I did make it clear. Because like I said, and people seem to be overlooking, I clearly communicated everything with her, told her all the details and everything. She was fine with it all until she wasn't. You are the asshole. Hubby and I include each other on each and every trip. 16-year-old, you didn't know what you were offering, not knowing that you would be married when this trip happened. It's about your wife being your other half. Where you go, she goes. Where she goes, you go. There is an occasion for a bro trip or night out, but this one is with a mutual friend that set you two up. So weird you two wouldn't want to include her. You are the asshole. Book your wife a plane ticket too, and you might be able to salvage this. It's okay to keep the F1 thing to you and your friend only if your wife doesn't care about F1. So this is what Ob wants being repackaged as what he has to do. Ever seen Midsummer? Kyo are the asshole, not the asshole. If you had done it behind wife's back, you are the asshole since you broke it down. There was a misunderstanding. But how would you be with her taking off with her guy best friend for the weekend? Goes both ways. In the comments you said your sit-down convo with your wife explaining the full details of this trip was at the start of this year, so, yesterday? She went 9 years not realizing she wouldn't be a part of your plans whatsoever, YTA.